Okay, as is our usual procedure, if anyone could share what you'd like me to talk about today, proceed.
Motherhood.
Why we war over God.
Why what?
Why we create war over God. Why we are so divided as humans, and it creates the suffering behind it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Realization versus actualization.
Soul contracts.
Grace. Accessing your creative energy.
Transmutation.
Okay, that's good.
Innocence.
Thank you. Okay. Quite the list again today, which is cool. It's fine. Those of you who are guests, my name is Michael Mirdad, and I serve here as part of our spiritual leadership. Our leadership here it really involves everybody to one degree or another. We do our best, just like when I ask, what would you like me to talk about? It's an interesting thing here, actually, because people think of God, teachers, as though it's some sort of, it's a hierarchy, and that those lower on the totem pole, so to speak, don't matter. That's not how this works at all, the universe. Everybody matters. Everything matters. And you can ask for something of God. You can ask for something of me. You could give me a topic today, and it may or may not work that I can cover that. The weaving between 10 topics and all that, right? Find somebody else that can even weave two together. Two sentences together. I mean, it doesn't always work. So if you're the 12th request today and it doesn't happen, it's okay. It's being answered. If you're asking a question, it may not happen here. Just like with God itself, when you pray for something, just know all prayers are answered. But your answer might not happen at the podium today. It might be in your dream tonight. God loves you and takes care of you. But our head thinks differently. I want what I want, when I want it, and how I want it. And that's obviously very fear-based. So it's quite beautiful to imagine. You can come here and say, here's a thought. And remember, I ask that you share things that are heavy on your heart, whether it's about ascension or hurt, pain. Things that are important to you. I ask you to do that, and not just flippantly throwing out words, but just, to test me. Let's see if he can weave this in there. Snow cones. That'll get him, And then I'm going to say, well, snow cones are very much a channeling symbol. Way up here is God, and you're wanting to bring it down to this point. So, and I just made up snow cones, and look what happens. It becomes a metaphor. Anywhere, we can all just weave anything together because everything is together. Separate minds think of things separately, and they can't figure out how they go together. Whether it's racial, generational, gender, separated minds keep everything separated with no idea. And we just sit around going, I don't know if it'll ever change. That's the mind of someone who's broken. Just keep commiserating on what isn't working. Mastery, you step up, you see what needs done, and you do it. So, although it seems like there's a sort of a hierarchy and we're way down here and don't matter, humans less than light beings less than angels less than God, it doesn't work that way. When we do things here, we're painting some of the walls in here sometime soon. What happens is there's not me nor even the board that says, here's a color. We ask feedback, and now mind you can't get carried away with asking everybody, because then you end up with nobody, you have somebody who's not happy with it. Like they say, a camel is a horse created by a committee. It ends up with extra parts, and just, who added that extra hump? It was supposed to be a horse. It wasn't that easy enough. So realizing that every thought and every feeling matters. And hopefully that's one thing you can get from sitting in our audiences here, is that what happens here is inclusive of someone's thoughts and feelings. Everybody's thoughts and feelings. Try to figure that out. Try to imagine taking hundreds of people and channeling all of them all at once.
No, thank you.
Right. It's a bit much, right? Hyperstimulating if not everything else that goes on along with that. And yet it's proven to be possible, as much as is possible in any given moment. All of us, the prayer of the Divine Mother is not, I'm the Holy Spirit, I'm all that matters, you're mere humans. The Divine Mother is trying to birth us home, birth us back into Christ consciousness. We said, we're going to take our ball and go home because, we wonder what life would be like without bliss, oneness, God. So we threw a little tantrum. It's called the rebellion in heaven. All that was we said, I wonder if we had an ego as a voice instead of God. And this is what happens. It's free will. It's free will. And what happens? You go insane for a while. If I didn't have love as my guide, what would my life look like? Boom! Planet Earth. War, you asked about. War. Why do we choose? How could we possibly? Who in their right mind would choose separation? Because you can't have war without thinking you're separate from God and from yourself and from each other. There's got to be another to have a war with them. You can't have racism if we're all one. You can't have gender issues, generational issues, right? Generation gap. How do you, there's no other. But we said, no. I want there to be others that I can like or not like as I please. So this little tantrum, boom, and it's called the Big Bang in the universe. Tantrum, boom. And the mother's like, oy vey. What are they doing? She and the Father, God, what do you think? What are they? I don't know, honey. I don't know, honey. The lights are on, but nobody's home. Where have they gone? And the Father says, they're actually trying to dream up a world outside of love. They're actually trying to imagine what life would be like if you didn't have only love, peace, joy, and oneness. And the mother's like, I'm going in. So the mother became the place, not went to the place we went. The mother became the place we went. Why? Because she's saying, they think they're separating. I'm going to become the womb, known as the universe. I'm going to become the womb in which they enter. So they will stay within my arms. They will stay within my mind. They will stay within my heart. They cannot leave. They can think they leave. So when you have prayers answered, all you're really doing is shifting from a dimension of separate in this universe to mother is there. She's been taking all your heroin, all your hangovers, all your, overdoses on a couch and barely able, and they come in and resuscitate you, all your arrogances, all your arguments, all your marriages. These are nightmares. And the whole time the mother's just waiting, You're doing that today. Okay, let me mirror that. This is what addiction looks like. Are you good with that? Yeah, you're okay. And so it is, and so it is. And then one day you go, I'm fed up with this. And so it is, and so it is. I want to change my life, and so it is, and she just sits there infinitely. Most of us can't do that for 60 seconds with other human beings. She's done it for millions and capable of billions and hundreds of billions or trillions of years because there's no time. But also there's no limit to her love. She can't go, that's it. I am fed up with you people. She can't go, after all I've done for you. Don't you love your mother? She can't. She can't do that because she can only do a reflection of us very naturally, organically, perfectly, mirroring where we're at. She's not the one that can complain about your decisions. She can only say, are you sure? Yes. That's exactly the person I want to marry. Oh, okay. No background checks? Okay. And so it is. And then you'll be there and you'll be in denial of how terrible it is. And she's like, are you, I'm good. Okay. And so it is for a while. And then one day, mother, how could this, you do to, I have nothing to do. Just going to mirror your stuff. I can't believe you're doing this to me. No, just love, 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 love. That's where the war can come from. That's where these turmoils can come from. It's our own What would life be like if I could be separate? And everything we experience is either the answer that you do believe that's possible, or you're waking up and you no longer believe that's possible. When you say I'm having insights and synchronicities and awarenesses, all that the mother's doing is mirroring that you're waking up from the dream. When you're not and everything's a nightmare, she's just mirroring that today you decided to see what life would be like if you could be separate. That's all she's ever doing. Our beliefs being mirrored. Which our beliefs means our value of ourself, our self-worth. You see? And not just personally, racially, globally, universally. And there's beings we're talking about that aren't even on this planet. And some of them are in the past, the present, the future. Some are in the astral world, they're in this world, and so on. All of these dimensions, they're all the womb of the mother. And this womb is just this space below the veil. There's God, heaven, and we're still there. But we're dreaming that we're on the other side of a veil, living in a universe lifetime after lifetime with person after person and on and on. And all it is a journey without distance to a place we never left. We're still in God, believing that we went through this tiny pinhole from reality into illusion. And the illusion is so big. Oh, the universe, there's no measure. Why do they say there's no limit to the universe? Why do they think it's actually infinitely large, even though it seems like there's no stars and things, certain parts, it starts to thin out and wear out. What's out there? Nothing, just infinity. Why? Because it was all created by us and we're infinite beings. There's no limit to what we can create. But are we co-creating with the Holy Spirit, the Divine Mother? Or are we coming from a place of rebellion? I know who I want to marry. Warning, 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 no. I'm right. And I want to reincarnate again. Because this time I think I can fix my mother. Or my dad, or my husband, or my wife. We get here and we go, I didn't pick them. They fooled me and made me think that they were good husbands and wives. And, you know, it's not possible for us to be ignorant. We just think it. We use that as an excuse. When people say, we are afraid more of our light than our darkness, a lot of us go, ooh, that's, yeah. And we put in bumper stickers, we're afraid of our light. But nobody bothers to take a minute to think of what it means. Think about what it means. We're so afraid of our light that we don't even want to believe that we're so intuitive, because then you'd have to take responsibility for having intuited the psycho you were marrying. Oh, I didn't know about that one. You did. It's impossible to not know. Please don't get upset and turned off right. Right. Yeah, not yet. Okay? Because there's more. No. We are. And you had a child and it died when it was 2. It's terrible. It knew it was going to go. You knew it was. I wouldn't have had a baby if I knew. You knew. And when you get to the other side, you'll be like, oh, that makes sense now. But here, we like to whine about everything because it endorses victimhood. But worse than the darkness of victimhood, it continues to substantiate that you're not the light that you really are. So just imagine, I knew it all along. I knew there was going to be this and I knew there was going to be that. They told you, they reminded you when you were coming in. You can't come in and go, I didn't know that there was going to be. Yes, everything is told before you come in. And when your mother's body is flooded with oxytocin, that's actually been proven in laboratories to create amnesia. So when your mother's body is flooded with that, it downloads into the baby and creates an amnesia. That's a chemical version of the psychological and spiritual story that we knew. But we took a pill of amnesia. We decided to forget, and it's convenient that we forget. When we start working with the Divine Mother, it's like you're able to go, this isn't the punitive father that church told me. Remember, church at one time, it still does, but church for a long time, and for hundreds, if not thousands of years, church and churches and religions told us we are God, meaning they. The church is God. Question the church, you're questioning God. question what we tell you in doctrine, and you're questioning God. So we just, okay, I won't say a word. Don't think freely. Don't feel, just go along. And that is very harsh. So we still have the mother trying to correct that. That's the story that they told you of your father, that he's punitive, that he's angry. Your ego made up that story, and you co-created that story. Even the church doing that is because we allowed it. Someone has to say, yeah, I don't agree. It's impossible for God to be an angry God. If it was, it would have done this to the universe a long time ago. Why would it go, no, I want to feel the pain for a few million years of my children being separate and everything being, why would God do that? It doesn't make sense. There is this thing, God, there is this thing that we don't even when we pray, so serious and solemn and God, please, God only wills our happiness, our joy, our love, expansiveness. But we're trained, programmed that this is a hard road. It's, you're going to get on the spiritual path. With that comes all kinds of turmoil. And it's true because we decided that's the way it's going to be. Why is it that the greater the light, the darker the shadow? Why is that so? Who made up that rule of physics? The brighter the light, the more the shadow that you cast. It's true. The brighter the light. Well, that means if I grow in my light, all my darkness is going to come up. That's true. Why is that a problem? Well, because you know what happens when your darkness comes. Oh my God. Then I'm going to be rebirthing this and I'm going to be Rolfing that and I got all my stuff is going to come up. I can't even go to a chiropractor without some creature coming out of my solar plexus and then the chiropractor's receptionist has to smudge the room and pretend it wasn't because of their fears of your stuff, Oh no, we're just smudging, freshening up the room. When they bring in the padre with the cross and the book and the exorcism materials and the holy water, it's not a good sign. But why? Why are we doing this? Because we think, first of all, that we have the darkness. We then think the darkness has power, and then we think we have to fight it. So you have to really get ready, man, when you get on the spiritual path. From the Christian perspective, get on the spiritual path, Satan's coming after you. Just saying that means you believe it, which means now it's going to happen. And I'm not saying the opposite is good, meaning to be in denial. Because when you get on the spiritual path, you're intensifying your light, you're intensifying your dark, and you'll go through the dark night of the soul. That's all true. But I'm saying, that's a world we created. And here's what God and the Holy Spirit and the Divine Mother wants you and I to do. Honey, instead of, what have you done? She says, I want you to look at this with me. You have some things that you're afraid of, things that you made up. Now, let's look at this together. Okay, I'm right here. At any time, if it gets to be too much, we're going to shut off the Akashic Records screen and we're going to have some ice cream and watch cartoons for a while. And then when you're ready, okay, okay. Okay, we're ready, We're going and we're going to look at some more stuff and some more stuff. Some of it's going to be shameful, some of it's going to be regrets and so on and so on. But at the end of the day, really what she's saying is, you can look at this clenched and I will hold you and love you. But there's a point when you're going to look at this and realize, and it's just a movie. It's just, it doesn't actually have power. But see, remember, this is complicated because if your frightening images, poverty, low finances, you get fired, you have a pattern of abandonment, friends throw you under the bus, all these things that sound like we don't want that, right? Can we agree collectively we don't want that stuff, right? Here's the problem. We don't want it, but it does exist on this planet. Why? Because we created it. So if the Holy Spirit wants us to look at all this objectively and realize it has no power, what she's technically asking you is to realize that your creations are an illusion. And there's a part of our arrogance that doesn't want to believe that anything we've ever believed in is worthless. It's got to have some value. I created it. Yeah, you gave birth to the Antichrist in your life. Do you still want to, it must be important. Okay, she says, honey, then we'll just keep that Antichrist kind of character in your life, your ego or whatever. But there's a point where we go, it's valueless. What am I going to do if I just give up that story, that belief that nobody ever loves me? Right? What am I going to do? I use that to get dates. My kids might not ever call me again if, well, poor mom, nobody loves her. We all moved away for a reason. But we all moved away and we left her 3,000 miles away. And, oh, poor mom. Mom's going to need to milk that. What if you don't anymore? What if you have no stories? You see? What's going to be on the news? Now, they're going to be out of work because there's nothing garbage to report. All of a sudden, the news is reality, which is, and more love was birthed in this town today. More kindness was extended in this town today. And there's people, no, I want my politics and whatever else it happens to be. It doesn't serve our God self. It's just our stuff. Now, that doesn't mean I'm saying that we should leave this building or leave wherever we are around the world watching this and tell people, oh, it's an illusion and get over it and don't have stories. You know what? When a person has a story, let them tell the story. When a person's hurting, let them hurt and be with them. Support them at that level. The Holy Spirit is not telling you black and white thinking. It's not saying it's terrible, nor is it saying it's all an illusion. It is an illusion. But the mother is the bridge that says, but you're hurting right now, let me hold you. That's when you really know you're spiritual, is when you can know the truth but respect the illusion. When you can know reincarnation is a thing. This is in A Course in Miracles, for example. It says, is reincarnation real? And I'm summarizing, but he says, yes. Yes, you do have lifetimes. Thank you, Jesus, for finally letting some of the Christy people know that, because a lot of them say there's no such thing, it's evil. No, there is. He says, but that's as much as an illusion as only living one lifetime. So some of the non-reincarnation people are saying, oh, see, he said no. That's not what he said. And he says, and if somebody walks in the room and they believe in reincarnation, talk to them as though it's true. It's there where they're at. Meeting people where they're at. Stories, oh my God, stories of I've been around people of so many different walks of life. The most wealthy on the planet, the most poverty-stricken on the planet, every race, every gender, every issue imaginable. And I don't tell them what they're feeling is, wrong, illusion, ego. Meet people where they're at, and once they're met where they're at, they're seen, they're heard, they're loved. When people are loved, they're going to respond with, now that you heard me, where would you like to go? And you say, oh, thank you. And you can add a little seed of love and life. Hear them out first, then add a seed of love and new opportunities. See what I'm meaning by that? Hear them first. Don't say, you're wrong, let me tell you where to, because that's religion. That's politics. That's this world. That's science. Always arguing about stuff. I personally find myself like the more that stuff goes on, the less interested I am in it. Contentious. No. You can tell me your pain and I'll hear it. I'll work with you on it. You can tell me you'd like to open up to new things. I'm going to go that direction. There we go. But I'm not going to argue about it. It's like, would you like to go there or not? No? Okay, so where are you at? And let's talk about that. If you want to start to analyze why I won't go there with you and argue with you about where you're at, all you've done is dissipate the whole conversation now. You see, I'm not needing to go there. It's not of interest to me. So you don't have to buy into people's illusions. What you're asked to do as children of God is, as children of God, we have a value. And the value isn't just in who we are, but what we can bring to others. So in a sense, we're saying to others, okay, look, I can hear you because one part of me is here. This is what the mother does. Part of me is here in your world, but I'm also simultaneously in God, cannot forget God. When we wake up and we think it's a spiritual path and we think we're talking about Buddhism today and something else tomorrow and something else the next day, and it's very tangential. If you look at it and you want to take it all to a new level, instead of just conversations that seem tangential, stop and summarize it all and say, wait, out of all these conversations I have with people about there being a God, no God, aliens, no aliens, politics, or whatever topic, part of me has been convinced and committed to staying in reality, and part to discussing this world. You see what I'm doing there? That's really what you've been doing, and that's exactly what the mother does. Anytime you have tried to keep part of you sane and yet talked with the stuff of this world, you were doing the work of the mother. And that's exactly what the mother does. I'm in reality, but I hear what you're saying about this world, poverty and such. So you believe it. You agree. Republicans are better. Democrats are better. I didn't say that. I said, I'm here and I hear you. Well, what do you mean you hear us? You agree or you don't agree? Masks or no masks? And she responds, what would you like? Would you like to wear a mask? Do you have some sort of Zorro fetish? I mean, if you, some little kind of, hang up of, that's exciting for you. And it's hard for us to believe it. Respect it. Honor it. You see? Honor it. I told you guys we had a festival once here. And this guy shows up with a sidearm gun. And, certain look and a certain type, body type. And he's got on his shirt, like I think it was a middle finger, you're not making me wear a mask. Well, clearly, he has issues. What do you do with that? Because people are at this spiritual, event, and this guy's walking around just ready to go to town on somebody, And people you could just see, it's like, he looked like Moses, man. The people were just partying. Get away from the bad guy. I looked at that and I thought, this is going to be good. That's the Holy Spirit. Can anybody approach him? Can you walk among the lepers? Can you walk among people that are angry and survive it? Or do you become like them, or do you fight them? I'm glad I'm not them. And nobody will tell me. So I walked up next to him and I said, you need to wear a mask. And immediately he just turns with this, and I'm like, it's all just, And he just kind of chuckled. Immediately, all of this shirt, all of that just drops. And I didn't have to say anything other than the intro, but just smile, because you met them where they're at. I have no idea. I didn't talk to them about right or wrong, do or don't. Just laughter, or I see you, or, man, how you doing, man? That's great. Good for you. Whatever meets them at the level they're at. People will not give up the level they're at, whatever the level is, until they're seen and heard. Then they can relax a little. It's no different than working a tense muscle. Oh, there's a tense muscle. Jackhammer time. The muscle will fight back. The muscle's already only doing what it's doing because it's upset. So let's kill it. Let's fight it. What you do is, one of the best things to do, meet it, find the tension, find the pain, and back off slightly. Why do you back off slightly? You give it, what? Space. Do you just back off all the way? No, because it needs to be seen. I hear you. I see you. You see? Just like that. And it's the same as a great musician. They can tell when the audience plugged into something they were doing. And it's like, there's this magical moment. It's just this what. I've had musicians where we've had at conferences on the stage, masterful musicians known all around the world. And still they say the following, which I'll get to, but the facilitator, the coordinator of the conference says, Michael, we have like 10 minutes. When you're done with your talk, can you fill it with something? Sure. And so I asked all these musicians, come up on stage. And they're like, well, what are we going to do, Because they're each masterful, well-known musicians. They each take a spot, and it's like, okay, let's breathe, and then just a rhythm, doom, 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 and then you join in, doom, 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 doo, doo, doo. Ooh, and the flute guy starts, then and something starts happening and people are feeling it. And this wave, boom, we just create this. I'm not a musician. I just did it because I was asked to fill 10 minutes. So all of a sudden there's this wave, and I mean, it was extraordinary. The musicians, when they were done, they're going, that was weird. That's how they said it. What was that? God. Oh. Why has that not occurred to anybody? It's when we let go, we bring our gifts, even our pains, to a moment, surrender them to God, and this magical thing can happen. Someone can cry out during that song. Someone can sing out during that song, and it starts to really move and groove. But a musician can also say, well, everybody's moving and grooving, but I'm not standing out as much as I would like. And they start taking off louder than everyone else, faster than out of rhythm. That's what we do on life, on planet Earth. I want to stand out. I need to be heard. And that's, it's like, yes, but you're part of a collective. When it's still you, you're still broken. When you learn what's the greater good, and now the lead takes off, it's not great, it's perfect. That every note was something that was being felt in that rhythm that was created, and it was created together. What color will we paint the building? Let's, we pick a color. There's a collective. What do you want me to talk about today? You see? This is a collective. And that's one reason why people consciously or unconsciously go, there's something really great about the Global Center for Christ Consciousness. And part of that is because we don't realize it sometimes, but we're having an experience. I'm not talking to you or at you. We're having an experience. But it's different to some degree from what people are used to. And you can have the greatest musicians playing, like the band Yes. Extraordinary. But the worst thing about the band is everybody was soloing all the time. Everybody was simultaneously soloing. And it's like, but when they let go and they blended, it was extraordinary. Like, wow, like magical. And they knew when it was magical and they knew when it wasn't. And, it's because you're sensitive enough to see it. So in your household, what is needed in this moment? Not how to be right or wrong. It's what's needed in this conversation. What's needed in this lovemaking. What's needed in the recipe for dinner today. Learning to listen and go, oh my God, the answer is there. How to just, that one word you interjected into a conversation turned everything around. Taking someone's hand, instead of just talking, taking their hand, it bridged something different. It's like adding butter to any food. It's just, how could it not take it to a far better level? How can you fail? Anyway. One of you asked about motherhood, and we are all mothers when we are being loving or nurturing. I'm not saying men are not, but if you use the stereotype of the father and the male versus the mother female for a moment, we could say that the mother is the nurturer. Technically, I don't buy into any of it. Male or female, none of that matters. It's your choice to be God's presence right now. No gender attached. But using gender for people at times. To realize motherhood is not female, but it is your feminine side. Nurturer. It's the presence of love. God is bliss. But look what bliss does. It is. So the Father resides in heaven because it is bliss. But the mother is love. So the Father is the bliss of God, the mother is the love of God. What does the bliss of God do? It just chills in heaven blissfully. What does the mother do? Oh, the kids are having a hard day. Let me help them out. So the mother goes in and she holds us during our challenges. She whispers in our ear. She's helping us. She acts as the nurturer. But men and women in every species out there in the universe can do the same thing. You just hear the call in the moment that something loving is needed. And then do your best to bring that presence. How can I be nurturing today? How can I be loving today? You know, how can I be God's presence today? Whatever form that takes. And it's, oh my God, so many different forms, obviously. One of you asked about innocence. This is one of the coolest things, but it's not something you can be told. It has to be felt, really, to really get it. The word innocence. So what is innocence really about? I'm innocent, I didn't do that, and I was accused. No, that's the head stuff talking. I understand it's a human issue, and I understand there's things you've been accused of, and I get all that on the human level. But what is capital I innocence? It means I am as God created me, and that can never change. I'm not innocent. I'm not just innocent of human crimes or activities, and I'm not even just innocent of this whole separation, which is just a nightmare. It was just a dream. We're all going home. We're on our way there now. But we're on our way, a journey without distance to a place we never left, as I said. We are the holy, holy, holy children of God. Holy means whole, complete, but it also means holy. Do you know what that word means? Holy, sacred. Like, think of that meaning. I am holy. I am a holy child of God. There's a vibration to that word. It's the nicest, purest note musically, and then times trillions. It's the best days of your life where you were the most loving, caring, times trillions. You see what I mean by that? That's my innocence isn't something I actually determine. So, you know, I heard Michael, he was talking about this Christ thing and God and innocence, and I'm going to start becoming more innocent now. When my friends say, you want to smoke? I don't smoke. I'm innocent. I'm just this pure holy being. You want some beer? No, man, I'm state of innocence. That's what we go through for a while. There's a point where we realize that my innocence isn't at all determined by what I eat, by who I hang out with. My innocence was born back here, not down here. Here's the veil. No, it wasn't born down here, and I have to fix it. Oh man, I lost my innocence, and now I don't know how to be a better person. I lost my innocence, so now they call me damaged goods, and so now I can't really be a pure man or woman because this and that. And some people go to the extreme of being nuns and monks to try to find that innocence. God bless them because they know something's missing and they want it, which is God. So they work on innocence through external ritual and choices, right? Contracts. You asked about soul contracts. So your soul contracts are all based on what you do believe yourself to be, which is part of God, or that you're not. You'll make soul contracts to compensate for being apart from God. In other words, for example, I feel so low self-worth. I'm going to create a soul contract because here this person entered my life and they made me feel valuable. They said I'm cute. They said I'm handsome. They said they've got money and I don't. Wow, this is great. This person's bringing prosperity into my life. I'm now complete. That's codependence because it's them bringing you something. My innocence is I'm already there. You're mirroring it to me, but I'm already there. That's true innocence. That's true spiritual consciousness. Soul contracts are compensatory typically because I'm not completely there, but I'll tell you what. I'll give you what you want if you give me what I want. I have low self-worth. You tell me I'm wonderful. I like you. What do you need in return? Oh, it doesn't really matter. I need you to take out the trash, or I need you to be there when I want to yell at someone. And okay. As long as you don't let go of this making me feel pretty or handsome or whatever. This is soul contracts, karmic soul contracts. But you can also have soul contracts, and that's where we enter that word like twin souls and soulmates. Because some people are wanting to enter a soul contract where, hey, I have an idea. You're going to Earth, I'm going to, wow, remember me? Yeah, Civil War, remember? Okay, well, I was a slave owner, you were a slave, let's go back and switch. You can make up for that and kind of get me back. Or let's go and break the trance, the spell, the contract. Let's go and change these things. Let's bring the voice of freedom to all races into the world. Or do you remember Babylon? Or do you remember this country that, life as a Celt, wherever. Hey, I remember you. You remember me? Hey, listen, what have you been doing? since we were Celts. 2,000 years ago. What you been up to? Oh, low self-worth, man. Oh, I was here and I was here and then I did this and things I don't really want to tell you. Well, we're in the Akashic record room. I already see it all. Yeah, you were pretty wild. Yeah. So I'm thinking I'm going to go to Earth this time and I want to make a difference. I want to turn that stuff around. What stuff? The stuff you have had experience with. I want to turn that around. I want to teach musicians to have more of an audience. I want to bring more people to God or whatever it is. The other person says, this is weird because I've been thinking the same thing. Now you have a positive soul contract. Let's go in there as Lennon and McCartney. Let's go in there as whomever it happens to be. It doesn't have to be this kind of partnership, writing songs together. It could be, you'll be a painter and I'll be your supporter, financial supporter. It's two people agreeing to do something positive. It's a positive soul contract. That's really what soul mates typically are trying to do. Not just hook up. Then you'd be like harem girl from the past. Hey, this will be easy. I remember you, or, wife number 15, or whatever it happens to be. Some guy you owned me in another lifetime and you owe me. So now you'll do whatever I tell you to do, and I'll control you in this life. That's wicked and weird and easy. What's more amazing and impressive is I'm kind of done with that stuff. Would you like to go in there and sober up with me? Let's go in there and stop being Bacchanalian festivals in ancient Rome. Yeah, I'm still drunk, and it's been 2,000 years, and I can still feel those brain cells like they're swimming, in the finest wines of ancient Rome. Wow, let's go in. And you know what? You might be my therapist. You might be my sponsor. You might be someone I sponsor. But we're going to go in there and work on sobriety. Something that is improving your life, other people's lives, and the world. That's positive soul contracts. But there are those negative ones. And which one of those mirrors my innocence? Which of them mirrors my quest for God? Which one of them mirrors my falling away from God? Because everything is about the story of coming home or the story of parting. It's one or the other. And it's really nice when we can let each other off the hook, and say, well, you owe me in past life and this and that and the other. People ask me now and then about past lives, It's like, what can we do right now? I mean, we can talk past lives, and sometimes it's important and valuable. I bring it up in sessions when I'm counseling people. When it's relevant, okay, cool. And they go, wow, that makes total sense. That's cool. As long as it's in the moment, what's valuable and brings us the highest place. But at the end of the day, no matter who you were, how are you today? Because if you're not nice today, if you're not kind today, you can say, I was once the richest person on the planet. How much are you giving of that today? You see, I was once this, that, the other, whatever. And where does that take you? Let's go to higher places. Let's tear up the soul contracts that were karmic, and let's write new ones that have to do with new life, new hope. Write new contracts, you see? And contracts, not fatalistic ones, more like joyful agreements. I'd like to change that. Do you know A Course in Miracles could have never been written if it weren't for such a thing? The woman who wrote it, there was this magical moment. She was very psychic, very tuned in, although resisting it. But she would have never had that happen had it not been one day she was not wanting to go to work because of the constant arguing. And she reached out vulnerably to a colleague. I get anxiety about our staff meetings at the hospital in New York. I mean, I can't do this anymore. There's got to be another way. And he said, I think you're right. And I will join you in finding that other way. That is a new contract. And it became A Course in Miracles. That would not have been written had she not have someone else say, let's do it. So when two or more are gathered in a center like this, on some level saying, let's go somewhere else. This might be also like, wow, this is amazing. And you can leave here and not even exit the parking lot and go right back to the old patterns and programs. That's called free will. But are you really free when you're choosing that as your will? Are you being free when you're using willfulness instead of love is my guide? Love is my guidance. Love is, wow, this is amazing. The things I decide to do, I'm wanting to do with God as my co-creator. God and I together, as the pilot and co-pilot, let's do this. God, what would you have me do today and not do? The paintings take another level. The poetry takes another, the parenting takes another level. It just goes another level. And pretty soon you realize this is almost magical in the greatest sense. Someone needed something and it just came to me. Like, where did that come from? Like me doing what I do. All of us do this in bits here and there, but how much? And are we open to doing it more? Why would we be afraid to be a counselor who doesn't just go by the book? Why would we be afraid to say, I'm sensing, and go from that place? After you hear them say, oh my God, how did you know? Part of you needs to just go, I can probably put the book down now. You can always pull it back when you're scared. There. Not too much intuition. Okay, okay, because I got to have my book there, okay, And then out of you comes, have you ever felt connected to this other civilization? So what? You got to push through that. Don't be a spiritual counselor if you don't. Just keep coming from, the book. Good, that's fine. And next lifetime you'll come back as a librarian because you were so obsessed on books. And you'll wonder, why am I a librarian? Then you'll have to talk to somebody who's a spiritual counselor who intuits you have hang-ups about books. You would never let them go. Now you have to live in them. Or maybe come out a little bit, right? Maybe come out a little bit. Maybe go from being a doctor to, I'm feeling called to be a midwife. Oh, it doesn't pay as much. Who cares? I also don't have to answer to as many people. And rules and laws and licensings. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying. I'm a classically trained musician, but I want to play. I remember this gal who's going, well, Michael, you're wanting some background music. She'd only dun 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 dun. That's not good for meditation. Can you just do? And she actually started crying because she couldn't. I'm classically trained. You want me to just play notes? What if the classical music God shows up? We'll have none of that going on here. Like, come on, just feel it. Just so she sat there just frozen and then started shaking, started crying. It's a very powerful moment, but sad in a way. Because why do we stay frozen? Remember, I've said this before. Most of our concepts of hell, the details of what hell looks like, that sort of thing, even though in Tibetan Buddhism and such, they have descriptions of these things. But in the West, it was Dante who wrote the Divine Comedy. Dante who wrote Dante's Inferno, Paradise, Purgatory. Dante gave, because he was a mystic and Rosicrucian, he had visions, so he was doing soul journeys back then, and he was writing what his journeys showed him of the afterlife. And the Catholics said, burning in hell, we like this stuff. So they actually hijacked his material and said, this is truth. They used his material, Dante, a Rosicrucian mystic, they used his visions of the afterlife to show people, but they, of course, took it literally and preached it literally. If you do this, you're going to this part of hell. If you do this, you're going to that part. This is within us. And so part of my point there is that the center of hell, what people don't realize, they think of Dante's Inferno. One of the most important parts of hell is a frozen lake. Okay? Why? I thought it was all fire and brimstone. No. One of the most important lessons to learn from Dante about hell is that there's a lake. In the middle is Satan, frozen from here down in this lake. And in the lake are the body parts of all the human beings that have been sent there. Why? Symbolic. Any part of you that is frozen is in hell. Any part of you that is judged, any part of you that is restrained, any part that's, frozen is in hell. And it's especially great because Satan from the waist down, because, below that's the naughty parts. That's definitely the hell, oh yeah. The Netherlands. And so hell and the earth and the underworld and all, it's just the genitals and and colon, We don't want to be talking about that stuff. You don't go to parties and say, hey, you know any good colon therapists? It's this stuff people are hiding from, but so are they also hiding from their regrets and fears, and no part, no stone left unturned, no part left without the light shining on it. You asked about redemption. You asked about being actualized and so forth. It's not here. It's not I read enough books that I'm actual. It's like I'm actualized means I'm actually who I really am. I'm not realized. I realized who I really am. And without God, I'm nothing. But that's not I'm nothing. That's only the ending of that sentence. Without God, I'm nothing, which means if I try to live outside of God, I'm trying to be a broken, separate person who's frozen, therefore living in hell. Instead, shine your light on me, God. Shine your light. What's that light? Oh, it's going to burn me. It's going to reveal all my naughty bits. Guys, the light of love shines, and the lake thaws out. The parts sink to the bottom and compost into the earth. And I come out of the lake. I come out of my fears. I come out of my judgments and inhibitions, not just on myself, but others. When I judge people, oh, they're too tall, too short, too fat, too skinny, too this, too that, they're wealthy, they're broke. All those are just opinions, and they're in that lake. Let them thaw out, which is like saying they have no value. The love and light of God. So think of God, in a sense, as the mother. The ultimate statement of love. Not the punitive, I'm going to be in trouble. It's just imagine. There are people that lived very so-so or worse lives who have gone to the other side and said, there was this presence of love. I mean, if a person is really hell-bent on suffering, there's going to be hell waiting for me, that's what they see sometimes. But even people that have just been mediocre say the same thing. There was this presence of love, overwhelming love. Like, how did I not get that that's what God was? And because they didn't get it, and because they have regrets for not getting it in this lifetime, they end up having to come back again. But why don't we just get it now? Please practice it daily. Imagining, what if I and everyone else was mistaken when they had these projections onto God? Let's just try something silly and playful for a moment. What if God only ever smiles? What if it only ever loves us? What if it only ever is saying, how can I help you today? Well, I did some naughty things. Oh, really? Tell me about those and then let's move on. What if it's just the ultimate counselor, the ultimate intuitive, the ultimate life coach, everything? This is my banker, everything. My investment broker, God. Hey, I would suggest this today. Hey, what do you think of this? All loving and beautiful. Please take time, not just to celebrate Mother's Day, but the Mother's Day. From now on, Divine Mother, I get it. From now on, I'm with you. Be my guide. I get it. And if Michael's wrong and I'm wrong and there's really punitive stuff, I'm in trouble anyway. So I'm just going to play this and go, I think you're all loving. Just listen. Gentlemen, please. Holy, 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 holy love. Keep going. Holy, holy, holy. Keep going. Louder. Holy, 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 holy love. Gals, please. Love, 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 love. The gospel in one word is love. Love thy neighbor holy love. Keep going. Love, 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 love. The gospel in one word is love. Neighbor as thyself. Again, please, louder. Stand. Holy, 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 holy love. To the world. Love, 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 love. Holy, 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 holy. One more time to the universe. Holy, 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 holy love. Hold. Take the vibration of that. Take the meaning of that. Feel it, know it to be true. Breathe in deep. And the message of that goes out as one tone. Breathe when you need to. Keep it going. Keep going. Send this tone of God, love, to all beings everywhere, throughout all time. There is no time. Every child crying for help. Every man, every woman going through divorce and strife. Everybody in war. Everybody in dugouts in war. Any person ever being afraid of anything, send them that frequency. In your tone, you're saying everything is okay. There is but God. The astral world, hold that. Look in your mind's eye and see circles of people around fires, elders, groups, native, indigenous people, Africa, North America, Celtic, everywhere. People that were doing light work, people that were calling to God, people that were downloading healings and Reiki sessions. Anyone ever working to bring miracles are in this tone that we just shared, as well as all the people struggling. But picture it. There is no time. That's all an illusion. So imagine that somewhere there's a group of beings around a fire and they saw a portal open and they saw into this room thousands of years later sometimes. And the elders understood. They're us in the future. And they just smiled. They knew that they were supported from God's children throughout all time. We give thanks, Divine Mother. We give thanks on your holy, sacred day. And we ask, teach us, guide us, heal us, and bring us along to become more and more embodiments of your presence. Nothing else is needed. And so it is. Please have a seat for a moment. We'll finish up the service. Just take your time, stretch out for a moment. Oh, feel that. Please understand this is real. Sending this frequency and intention of love and blessing to people throughout time, it's real. This is how this works. We're creating our own future, but we're also releasing our own past. Okay? When you raise your vibration, you're sending it back to your ancestors vibrationally, changing even their genetics, which then changes yours. But you're also sending it not just upstream, but downstream to your descendants. You know, that we're not going to do these same old patterns anymore. Honey, you're telling this descendants, we're bringing God into the picture now. we'll do our love offering, please. And just be as generous as you can be, whether you're online or in person. We have enough donations for our centerpiece in our labyrinth. It's a matter of just getting this piece ordered, and it's going to take a while to have it shipped. But anybody that has extra that you can put in the wicker basket, that helps, because we're going to get the place painted, which is a few $1,000s. So we appreciate your generosity in that area. From your heart, from your soul, please remember, you're not just giving to a group or a center. This is just giving to God. This is just giving to the universe in a positive way, trusting way, and then knowing that it comes back. Hold your love offering to your heart. Together, please. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Right on. While they're passing those, just about a minute of important announcements. Do remember that we have the healing room here with the crystal bed in it, especially if you're visiting from out of town. Take time to schedule a session in the bookstore or the office this week. And we're always looking for, if you're interested in becoming a volunteer, it was already mentioned, but you can be one of our volunteers. We just meet once a month to do some things around the area, cleaning up, or maybe we'll be taping off things when we're painting, things like that. We're also always open to getting people that can help volunteer or paid, for that matter, in the bookstore. Just remember that whether you're an admin or a bookstore person or a volunteer, we're working as a group. So if you have a hard time going with the flow of what's asked of you, then you wouldn't want to apply, okay? We don't need you to struggle with that and fight with that, going with it. We're a group. I do the same thing. If they say we're painting a certain color, then we're painting a certain color, because that's what I'm being asked to do. And let's see, thank you if you're on social media. You can like and share and all those good things. We appreciate it. Today, 3 to 5, as was mentioned, we have Gabriella Young with our Mother's Day celebration. So she'll be doing the Rumi and Hafiz poetry along with John Dumas, and most of you know John by now. Fantastic music presentation. On Saturday, the 27th from 10 to 4, I'm doing a workshop on mastery. It's a 2-day presentation on mastery and healing. So it's a lot of advanced methods, techniques, exercises on how to heal stuff faster, move stuff out, access stuff more quickly and efficiently, but also learning mastery concepts to apply in your life, okay? And one last announcement, let's see. I want to share this on behalf, I've mentioned this maybe once a year, but on behalf of our admins, it happens now and then that people, locals or people from out of town, listen, if you want to say hello, if you want to say thank you for the service, I'm here anytime. I love people and I don't mind the interacting, but you need to know that I rarely come in on other days other than Sunday. And if I do, I'm usually coming in to be of service. Michael, can you do that? Michael, can you put this book over there? Whatever they need me to do. I come in and haul things around that might be too heavy for them or whatever. But I'm coming in to do something. Some people get offended. They'll come in and say, where's Michael? Well, he's not in. He was here Sunday. No, my guides said that I'm supposed to talk to him and tell him. Well, his guides didn't. So you have a couple of options. Either your guides are better, which means why would you want to ask me any advice? Or my guides are better, then why would you think that you're right about pulling me aside for some time? No offense. I mean, I love folks and I don't mind stopping and saying hello and that sort of thing. But it's really important, especially if it's a group of friends or, just say hello. I mean, anytime I can say hello, I love it. I really do. So don't forget that. Just be careful when there's more than I would love to say hello or I'd love to thank you for the service. There's sometimes agendas. People come rolling into town and they have these agendas and, and I promise the admins, because they sometimes get a little harassed by people who, how can your guides not know that I'm supposed to be marrying Michael? Why can't I connect with Michael? Because he's non-connectable. Okay? I mean, come on, just lighten up. If you believe in me as a teacher, then know this. If I'm supposed to call you, God will give me your number. And I don't mean to be rude, but people just push the envelope sometimes and they harass the admins. And so that puts me in the mood. It's very even awkward having these kinds of conversations. But please just get it. Just understand. He's odd. He doesn't, he's not interested in anyone or anything in that way. And if I am, I share that with somebody when I want to. But I'm not a celibate, but I'm also not, loose that way. Just. Yeah. Just leave me alone, I don't know what other words to use. Please know and understand. I get it. I think love is beautiful. Feeling love, feeling attracted, all the things are beautiful. But they're all you, experiencing you. You know what I mean? I'm a teacher and you're seeing something, wow, I love the way that person teaches. What you think is wonderful as a teacher, you do not want to move in with. You do not. You're going to try to tell me to eat vegetables and I will not. You're going to want me to whatever, and I'm not that person, Find you and then find a resonance to you, and that's beautiful. Well, you are the resonance. No, I'm just odd. You want your own thing, and so it's personal life is interesting, and this isn't just me. Any of you, as you go up the ladder of consciousness, the pyramid gets narrower. The dating pool gets narrower. So don't think that, well, I'm getting higher in consciousness. I need to, that guy, girl, that whatever. Just relax. Be at peace. What I like in my life is ease. And when I can go into a room and sit like I'm equal to everyone, just sit. Please don't sit and go, I wonder what he's going to eat for dinner. Oh, he drinks Coca-Cola. Oh, he's a hypocrite. Stop. Don't go out to eat with us then. And if you don't know by now, everybody has a healer, and my doctor is Dr. Pepper. So. And it's hard for people to not do that. It's hard for people to not go around someone they respect as a teacher, a singer, or whatever, and watch their every move. This happens a lot. Would you like that in your life? Would you like your family members going, oh, I heard she's gotten into spirituality. Let's watch every move to see if she's real. It's a drag. And for me personally, I like to, but I also need to. Hey, guys, how's it going? Don't analyze. This is me. It's not like I stand here and say, oh, I'm just a chamomile person, and then Dr. Pepper out at the restaurant. It's not a hypocrisy. I tell you straightforward. This is, me. It's love, living love through me. That's me. I love it. I love what I do, who I am, what I eat, drink. This, I love all of that. So just chill. And if you want to be close to me, hang back and just hang with me and just relax and be in that presence. I shared many times, I shared a few times, that a few times in my life, I remember sitting in the presence of Elvis Presley. And even as a kid, I was watching how everything's so uptight. Everything is watched and analyzed. And I just remember seeing that probably there more profoundly than any time in my life up to that point. And I just watched and what a strange way to live. The gals are positioning, for a certain thing, and who gets to talk, and the men, and who's going to get photos, and everything's tense. And there's one very popular musician who one time, okay, I'm going to talk to the fans. I'm going through my hotel, and there's a bunch there. Oh, and they all said, can we take pictures? He said, no, that's work. That's too much like work. Do you want me to hang? I'll talk with you guys. Can we be friends? Can we talk? You see? If they can let their guards down, then this person, now we're all kind of in a state of joy. That's what I appreciate. That's what I like. Let's play. Let's do what needs done in the moment, But hopefully you heard that and you understand that. It's nothing to do with, and I wanted to go say hello. That's fine. Leave your agendas outside and come and say hello. That would be pretty sweet. And never harass the people in the office. Never. You do that, and I don't care how holy or unholy you think it is, you'll be bounced. okay? You never be rude to our lead chaplain who ushers people in, or our ushers. Never, never, never. And some of you occasionally have done that. Can't do it. It's not going to work, okay? Healthy and holy, spiritual family, let's be healthy, okay? Independent. Take care of yourselves. Feel your energy. Be grateful that what we share, and know that you're creating that for yourself, so thank yourself too. Don't fall in love with who you think is doing it or agendas with. Just, this is wonderful, okay? Just like I would look at you and go, they are me, and wow. The cooler they are, the cooler I am. I love this. Thank you. All right? Anybody want to share before we do our closing prayer? What did you learn or hear today that makes the most difference in your life? Yes!
As a mother and as a child, this has been the best Mother's Day ever.
Oh, best Mother's Day ever. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
Thank you for addressing my war issue, and I just appreciate everything that you do.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And she's thanking me for addressing the war issue. Obviously, I didn't go into a whole dissertation just about that topic. It got woven in, but thanks for asking about it, because it can feel awkward. Am I allowed to bring up such things, such violent things, in a spiritual place? Yes, you are. Do it without attachments, and let's go where it needs to go. But thank you for bringing it up. You're welcome. Anyone else? Yes?
After listening to your message, I think all the single women in here will definitely not ask you for a date.
Good. Good. I would like that to be true. He said, after hearing me talk about relations, and that it's a certainty no woman's going to ask me out. That's good. I don't go out. I don't go out. I've never been on an actual date with anybody in my life. True. I never have. But I love our board members. I love our chaplains. I love our audiences here and afar. I mean, I feel more love probably for the people that are loving this than I would for any partner that ever could. Because this is, love. This is real. And as we keep it healthy and respectful, it's very cool and expansive. Who else was over there with their hand up? Yes?
Yeah, I came in here today with a lot of pain and a dark space.
Oh. Yeah, you came in here today with a lot of pain, a lot of dark space, and now it's all gone, forgotten. That's good. And not in denial and stuff. It just shifted, and that's a miracle. Thank you. Yes?
Thank you for humor and for keeping it alive. And thank you for having a conversation. It's not like in church,
Yeah.
but it's everything conducted as it's supposed to be. Just the three words.
Right on. That it's not a traditional lecture-ish kind of thing, that there's playfulness and humor. Remember, this heavy-duty book that was written about hell, purgatory, paradise. What is the name of Dante's book? The Divine Comedy, which means Dante was saying, this is all a joke. And it is. I'm not saying our war and suffering and rape is funny. I'm saying at the end of the day, it is ridiculous for us to treat each other the way we do. It's a joke. That's what I mean by that. Okay? Thank you. Yes?
My question was going to be about retroactive prayer, and I didn't ask it, and you answered it anyway.
Retroactively. Good. Good. You were asking about retroactive prayer, and it already answered. Good. Thank you. Yes.
Well, I just wanted to thank you for after the toning, when we saw the fires, I really felt the portals open.
Nice. Well, you would. It's real. It's real. You don't have to be around a fire, and you don't have to have taken peyote, and you don't have to be in a trance and do a sweat lodge first to see things magically like that. You just decide right now, we're toning, and there are beings. And trust me, they're adding to it. They're dialing up too. Anybody else that's out there doing light work, these masters around the fires and in temples throughout history, Atlantis, Lemuria, wherever, they're dialing it up, and there's portals opening. And it's astounding, because these portals open, and it's like us, hey, and they go, oh, that's us in the future, You see, I believe in that. I mean, I do. There's no time, and they're seeing us, we're seeing them. They're hearing us, we're hearing them. I absolutely know that. And I've seen it vividly happen in visions where, let's say a child alone or crying, and something's, parents at war killed, and then they're alone. That I've seen our tones reach that child and just lift them in some way, like an awareness shifted in them. It doesn't mean you got their parents back for them, but something in them was comforted. And I absolutely believe those things happen. Anyone else? Hands up. Yes. Yes, dear.
Hi, my name is Christine. I travel here with my children from Glendale. I appreciate, I'm thankful to have been blessed by this wonderful presence of yours.
Thank you.
I would like to say thank you for helping us lighten our lights.
Good.
Let us all let our lights shine so brightly that others can see their way out the dark.
Right. 3 times. Shining star for you to see what your life can truly be. Shining star for you to see what your life can truly be. Shining star for you to see what your life can truly be. Yes. You're welcome. She's saying about letting our light shine. Let your light shine and lighten up. Who else had their hand up? Yes.
I wasn't aware about the frozen lake in the Dante's Inferno.
Dante's Frozen Lake. Yes.
Yeah, that was an image that really sunk really deeply with me when you talked about frozen parts of ourselves.
That's right.
Being stuck in that lake.
Frozen parts of ourself. Any part of you that's frozen, which means stuck, judged, etc., is in hell. Mankind developed these patterns of pull the belt tight, corsets and these things. Constrict, that means this is all in hell. Then we thought that's not good enough. Let's also, put on a tie. Shut off your throat chakra too. Like how strange, just strip down, man. Dance. Last person or two. Yes.
Well, first of all, thank you. I've been
You're welcome.
listening online every week. So I got my butt out of bed and out of my house. Had my
Nice.
coffee on the road.
Good.
But anyway, I just want to thank you because every week I come away with a message that helps me in corporate America.
Nice.
It's challenging to be a light worker in
Nice.
corporate America.
Yeah.
But I chose that path, and and I feel when I'm resonating with that true light, and when I'm coming from my ego, and I have a choice to make in those moments, and you help me.
You're welcome.
greatly with that.
Well, thank you for that. I love that you're saying, I felt called to be here and I made myself do it. It's like perfect. And then what did you make yourself do? Come here. That's the external story. You also made yourself commit more internally to going to a higher place. This is the external metaphor, but it also means you committed to new parts of yourself. Bueno. Yes.
I would like to thank everybody who showed up here to help me participate in this experience and celebration.
He says thank you to us all, and we all return and say, you're welcome. All right. Please stand for our closing prayer. And thank you, beloved soul, who sent me a gift, Rose Martin, for folks that are interested in learning more about end-of-life spiritual care. Fabulous book, fabulous material. I looked it over the last week or two, and a guide to minister to the dying. Remember, when you're doing such things, whether you're counseling or mediating a conversation, or you're birthing people in, midwife, birthing people in, or even facilitating deaths, or facilitating no more drinking, now sobriety. You're a midwife. We're all the mother waiting to happen. We're all midwives, but what is the role? Birthing, but what are you birthing? We don't all birth babies. What are we birthing? Someone's new life. And that is simply being that external manifestation of the Divine Mother. So happy Mother's Day. Everything that was just shared, music, chant, meditation, multidimensionality, connecting with people, past, present, future, the laughter, the ease, the levity, even the personal commentary for 2 minutes, the love for the admins and support for them with these kinds of odd things. All of this, all of the conversations, chants, meaningful. I chose to participate in this today, even if I'm watching it 10 years from now. I was brought here. Is this a sign of my moving away from God or closer? If away from, what can I learn from it so I can go closer? If towards God, oh my God, thank you. Thank you, God, for being there so patiently and infinitely so. And thank me to make this choice to be part of this today. God, I must have been ready. I am making progress very clearly. Show me and guide me how to be this presence. I'm very clear, very all-knowing that the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever I am, God is. We are, and so it is. Mwah. Blessings to you all. God bless.